Welcome back, y'all.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited. This is going to be a fun episode.
I'm amped about it too, especially after spending the week and asking people their input.
Yes. Thank you for submitting those.
Yay. So yes, before we jump into this week's episode, just give a quick update. How was your week?
Busy. Yeah. Queen procrastinator over here. Running on what? 4 hours of sleep, which isn't bad actually. I thought it was less than that, but it's 4 hours of sleep.
You can still function?
No.
Oh, God.
I had 2 cups of coffee in the span of 2 hours.
That's not gonna make you
I have
jittery?
a full day today, so no. Coffee's like fucking water to me at this point. I've been drinking coffee since child.
Yeah, me too. I just don't care for
Since
it
like
now.
5-6 years old. So I think it's just more of like a mental thing at this point. Like I need coffee to feel like I'm functioning. But either way, it's been a super busy week. I am running off of 4 hours of sleep. You can share. I have something to share after that.
Okay, so my week was pretty cool. I took this week because I returned back to work for my medical leave. So I took
return back this coming
Monday.
Okay.
So because I needed that. So
you were talking in present tense because we're recording.
yes.
Got it.
So this week I took it as a week to like me time. So I did a little bit of light cleaning, reorganizing some stuff, nothing too crazy. Just making sure like everything is restocked on the business end for my Lips Body Utopia stuff, so that I'm
she restocked on the best candles ever. I gotta go do my
so, and I'm gonna
shopping.
do the end of the year sale, so I just wanted to make sure everything was like ready to go, because I mean granted I will be on Christmas break around that time, but I want to make sure that if people are looking for stuff to purchase prior to that, stuff is the website has it. But
can we just also, I want to put a disclaimer out for you because it's not anything to do with you. Please give small businesses the grace and space. They are not responsible for the postal office being slow on their deliveries.
Thank you. I appreciate
Because I know this one, she probably already packaged your shit before you hit confirm. So.
Yes, because the thing is, when we ship, like when I drop the stuff off at the post office, it is literally out of my hands now. I have responsibility of your package from the moment you hit confirm and I receive your order confirmation. It's my responsibility. But once I drop it off at the post office,
shit says shipped.
it says shipped on your end. You get the email, you get the confirmation and the tracking number. That's on USPS. That's who I use. I don't use UPS or any other company or FedEx or whatever. I use USPS, the United States Postal Service. They're behind. It's the holidays, so be patient with them. And also, please don't attack small business owners. Like, oh, I ordered this and it said shipped. Yeah, that means I shipped it out. But and there's another thing too. Sometimes I overheard too. Sometimes when we drop packages off, sometimes the postal office doesn't even scan them in.
No.
They just send them out. So
Probably the next day.
So you're probably sitting there thinking like, yo, she really didn't send my order out, but it said it's been processed. Yeah, I sent it out, but the postal office didn't scan it in. So you're not getting the updated thing saying they have it, they're going to send it out. So thank you for bringing that up. So I took some me time. I went and got a full body massage yesterday, a facial. You know, I think I said it to you before we started recording. I said the skin that I had at 23 is not the same skin. So I want my skin to still be looking good when I'm pushing 40, 50 years old. So I gotta take care of it. So I got a facial, got a pedicure, got my hair done. So did a lot of me to rejuvenate my energy before I return to work on Monday. Refresh. But this week was good. I caught up on a lot of shows I was behind on. I'm delayed, but I just started watching Squid Game. Yes, I just started watching because I was behind. I was busy. You know why I took the whole month off? It literally, I was not in the right mental space. So a lot of stuff that was going on, people posting, oh, check this show out, check this show out. I'm like, I don't have the energy to go watch it. I'm behind on hella stuff. So I'm catching up on a lot of stuff. I finally finished True Story. The ending blew my mind. If you still haven't watched it, please watch it. I'm not gonna give the spoiler, but I was like, wow. Like I had my suspicions, but I was
every
like,
episode, honestly, for that series was like, wait a minute, I gotta watch that.
I like Kevin Hart as this type of actor.
Yeah,
he did his role really, really good. I love.
I think this is his element. Like the comedy shit is expired.
Yeah, I think he overdoes it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he can do one here and
there. No,
there.
like, he was funny when he had his run, but I think that part of him is...
I think he needs to do other roles. Because Will Ferrell, he's a jokester. Like, I love him in the comedic scene. But he's done some serious roles, too. And there's a role that's coming out. But I think it's through Apple TV. And it's based off on a true story. I forgot it's something about, like, My Shrink and I. Like, based off a true story with a guy and involving his shrink, like him seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist, like, or whatever.
Them being intimate?
No, not being intimate. Him, the shrink helping him overcome, like, whatever he's dealing with mentally. But I haven't watched it yet. I only saw the previews here and there, like, on commercials. But I haven't checked it out, but I will. But I like Kevin Hart in this role. I think it's so dope. Like, he really blew my mind because I was like, oh, I hope he's not corny. But once the way that first episode ended, I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep watching. But yes, I finally caught up with that. I need to catch up with Insecure. I only watched the first episode of the last season. Don't kill me, guys. I have a lot of catching up to do. But this week was pretty relaxing. I look forward to seeing my kids. That's all I care for. And, like, 3 coworkers. Like, that's all I care for. Sorry.
Just 3 y'all.
Just the 3 of us, you know, that's all I care for, and my students. My students are my children. I call them my children. I'm like, oh, you talking about my kids? Oh, yeah, I know. Even though I didn't birth them, but they're like my children.
Yeah.
But yeah, my week was pretty good. I'm ready to bang out this week and some change before Christmas break and then the new year, 2022. I'm still processing
2020.
And then this year.
2020 is a blur. The only thing I remember was them providing us laptops and say, hey, we'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 2 months.
You know what I remember? Is the last thing I remember us doing was when we went to the Museum of Fine Arts. That Friday night, whatever they had, like, back in February, and then that was... No mask.
Just raw dog in the air. Just nasty.
Letting people breathe down our necks and our faces.
Right? In a confined space.
And all COVID just out here, like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It's crazy.
Like, she looks like a good candidate.
Infection.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel good for now. I'm good. What are you gonna add on?
As you were talking, I literally had a surge of anxiety because I'm like, do I want to talk about this? I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it. I think I don't want to talk about. I'm like shaking. I don't want to talk. Honest, open truth, right? So we record, and then we watch over the video. I'm like nervous saying this out loud.
And then pregnant?
No, bitch, no. You have to. Never mind. You have to have sex to do that. To get pregnant. But so we clip a lot of our episodes so we can like share to get people to like watch it. And Peggy randomly, I'm the one that usually clips everything. And Peggy's like watching it, and she's like, "Oh, we should clip this." And I was like, "Okay." I mean, I didn't understand why you wanted to do that. But when I clipped it and I'm watching it, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I don't know if Peggy noticed. Like, when I said I'm tired, it wasn't like, oh, I'm lacking sleep. I was so mentally, emotionally, physically drained. Like, my voice is shaking talking about it. And I don't think you realized it, but you, as a friend, picked it up and was like, I'm going to carry this episode for us.
Oh, I didn't.
Like, I'm nervous. I'm talking about it because I'm like, I'm trying not to cry. But I'm like mentally, emotionally fucking drained. Like, and yeah, that clip, even though it was small, there was a lot to unpack. If you watch it, when I said I'm tired, it wasn't because I didn't sleep the night before. I just, yeah, my voice is shaking. So, well,
deep breaths.
Anyways, so there's that. I wanted to share that. I don't know if I'm ready to share that, but that was like an honest truth.
I'm happy you shared that. I didn't know. I thought you were just tired because that day you only was running off for 2 hours.
I kept saying like, yo, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. But like, I think the lack of sleep is due to like my brain just running a mile a minute and having to make decisions that I was against at one point, dealing with other things that I'm probably not gonna talk about right now because now I'm like shaking again. Anyways,
all right, let's redirect ourselves.
Yeah. So the topic for today is
pet peeves.
I have plenty of them. This is gonna have to be a short one because if I don't make it short, we'll be here for 2-3 hours.
So this one's a good one. So we had asked a lot of our viewers and listeners. We posted it actually on our IG page. So for those of you who don't have IG, I know some people don't have IG. Sorry about that, but we posted a questionnaire on IG, like what are your pet peeves, what grind your gears, and a lot of people did respond. So thanks to you guys who responded.
I have to threaten some of y'all, but thank you.
Thank you guys for responding. I really love when you guys give us your input because we're not the only ones that feel this way, and I like seeing people's responses. You
remind me, like,
yeah,
so, like,
remind me of
I really used to hate that too, like. Or I really hate that.
Do you want to go through the people's comments, or do you want to share some of ours first?
We'll share some of ours first.
Yes. My pet peeve. What are my pet peeves? What are my pet peeves? The first one. One of my pet peeves is men who say, "Oh, I don't like women who wear wigs," or like trying to take apart a woman, but it's like find the woman who doesn't. But it's always
directed towards one race of women.
Yes.
That's my pet peeve.
So it's like, okay, you don't like a woman who wear wigs or whatever the case is. Find the one that doesn't do that then.
Just don't.
That's like me saying, I don't like men who wear goatee. Okay, so why am I entertaining a man who has goatees?
Or why am I even saying that? I don't care.
You know what I mean? So
like, I'm not entertaining this man. So me verbalizing it is doing what to who? Like, what is the purpose of you saying these things?
Why
like,
are you saying it?
If someone says, "Hey, what kind of man do you like?" Then you can offer up that comment.
Yes.
But if you randomly like see a guy walking down the street,
see,
like,
this is why I don't deal with bitches that wear wigs.
Okay. I'm sorry. Where's the context in this conversation? I'm confused. It's really the unsolicited comments for me.
Yes. Yes, that gets on my nerves. My second pet peeve is as a driver, pedestrians who you allow to cross when it's green. For me, I'm being nice, letting you cross, and they take their sweet fucking time. And
what, you supposed to run?
Not run, but
you could have fucking kept the push in.
But so I can hit you while you're on the crosswalk, and then the light's green for me.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, some pedestrians, the light is green. This is Massachusetts. This is not New York. Yeah. New York, you will get run over, and people continue with their lives. But Massachusetts pedestrians run the fucking streets. They don't care. That's why it's like, I feel like with the laws set in place when it comes to being on the road, I feel like it should go both ways. A car obviously has more power than a human being. I hit you, more than likely you might die, you might break a bone. So the human body against a 2,000 pound or 2-ton car ain't it. But I feel like sometimes all the blame is placed on the driver, but where's the blame on the pedestrian? I've seen pedestrians cross the street without looking both ways, and I'm like, bruh, didn't they teach us to look both ways before we cross the street? People are dead ass in their phones.
Shit, when I was in Aruba, I used to see dogs look both ways before they cross the street.
Exactly.
So
I've seen pigeons, and I haven't seen pigeons in a while. I'm so serious. Yeah. I've seen pigeons like pay attention to the traffic before they cross the street.
They can fly.
Literally, they have wings. They can fly. Why are you crossing the street? And you have humans who lack that part. Refuse to look both ways. Like, oh, I wish someone would hit me.
But have you ever been the pedestrian? Like, I'm gonna pace myself.
No. I never crossed the street as an asshole. Like, I ran across the street really quickly, seeing a car coming, like, oh my God, let me get across the street because I don't want that person to hit the brake. But some people drive erratic. Like, you're doing 40 miles in like a 20-mile area. Like, it's a residential area. I get that. Some drivers are assholes. Like, I'm well aware of that. But some pedestrians, it's like, some of them are like, yo, you really don't care about your life right now. Especially when it's raining or the ground is wet. And it's like, even if you're driving at your slowest sometimes, especially if the person doesn't have good tires or it's a slick road, even hitting on the brakes at the slowest speed, sometimes your car can skid. So it's like, y'all don't give a fuck about your life. My third pet peeve, child. I'm saying it off the top of my head, and I had a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, because I'm sure you have a lot.
I have a lot. My third pet peeve is people being so fucking loud in the morning. Like, it's 6 a.m.
Let me process.
Why am I up this early in the morning and just loud, like, It's like, I used to hate it the most when I used to get on the bus when I was getting ready to go to school, before I even had a car. I was in high school, and I used to hate all of us, those of us who live in Boston, getting on the MBTA, the loudest girls be in the back of the bus. I'm like, I'm not sitting back there. I'll sit right in the middle so I can get off right. And you know, we grew up where the old buses were the bigger, longer ones. Those of you who us late 80s, 90s
we
babies,
like sitting on the fucking motor, like just loud.
Especially if you sat in the back, you're literally sitting at the motor, so just loud and shit. So it's like, yo, it's too fucking early for this shit. Like, wait till you have breakfast or coffee or Dunkin' Donuts or something. Like, just
but
fucking
they probably
loud.
did, and that's why they're so loud. They
just
got their
loud.
coffee.
And God forbid, in the era when we had Nextels, having them speak through the. What you doing? Where you at?
I feel like people did that just to show off, but
Who you got a Nextel?
I was definitely in my feelings. I don't know. I didn't have a Nextel.
I had a Nextel. Okay, what are your three?
Okay, my three. I'm gonna try to keep it, cause yours is very surface level, and I think everybody can relate to the three that you mentioned. I'm gonna try to go like a little deeper to like specifically me.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm just removing labels. I don't want.
It's when I talk. You want to do this?
Sorry, I don't want Poland Spring talking about we owe them money. Okay, go ahead.
Pet peeves of mine. So I like things to make sense for me.
It's a verbal in you.
It has to be like in order. Like if it doesn't make sense, I'm like, why? And I will sit there and be like, can you just let me do it? Can you just let me fix it? Can you just let me fix it? So when I go into a kitchen and it's not like plate, like I need everything, like all the eating stuff, to be in the same area. I don't want to walk from one end of the kitchen to grab a spoon and then walk to the opposite end to grab a plate, and then the cup is like in this random fucking place. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, the seasoning should be next to the stove. Why is it on the other side of the kitchen? Or like, it gotta be plates, and then there's a drawer in front of you for spoons. Mm-hmm. And then to the right of you or the left of you, depending on how your cabinets are set up, there's the cups. Like, pots and pans should be very close to the fucking stove. Like, unless you have a really awkward setup in your kitchen, you make do with what you have,
kitchens,
right?
The cabinets are really weird.
But it's still, I have yet to see a kitchen where you can't make it make sense. Mm-hmm. Make it make sense. I don't want to have to go rummaging through your dirty cabinets to find stuff. Like, now I'm seeing that you left seasonings open. Like, now it's too much. It's too much. So that's one. Two, it's people who bite their utensils when they eat.
Oh,
does it
give clank against?
It does something to my teeth. At this point, it's like you scraping the spoon against my teeth, and I'm like in pain. Like, that's all I hate. I'm like, yo, just punch the teeth out of my mouth, please. Because that's how annoying that sound.
Shit. I got braces, so
that sound makes me like
cringe.
Just punch me in my teeth. Like, that's all. I just need you to do that right now. And my family knows that, to the point where, like, when I was staying with my sister, when I moved from one apartment and I was in the space of looking for an apartment, but I didn't have the funds. I was going through some hard times. So I was staying with my sister, and I used to always complain because they would scrape the pots and pans, and I'm just like, why? Like, does it add flavor to the food? Like, why don't we have wooden spoons in this house? Why is everything metal?
Get a morsel. I know what
yes,
you mean.
I'm like, your stainless steel is no longer stainless. Like your stainless pots and pans are done. So for me, wooden spoons all day. Honestly, sometimes I even go to restaurants and ask for plastic forks because I can't do it. So that's two. Three, oh my God, this is a big one because I'm now looking at my Keurig. When people order coffee and it's like sugar with a splash of coffee, or cream with a splash of coffee, then you're not drinking coffee. You're having a cup of cream with a splash of coffee. You're not a coffee drinker. Just say, I want no coffee. I just want you to pour some caramel swirl in that bitch, put some ice in that cup, and pour some cream over that shit.
They be the ones holding the cup
like, what are you swirling? You the type of person that will fucking drown your Tito's or your vodka or your tequila or your dark liquor with so much juice that you no longer taste the alcohol. Like, what is the point of drinking? Like, you're gonna have a worse off headache, hangover, because you're putting so much sugar in your body from drinking, and you're already dehydrating yourself from drinking. So then you have all this sugar, like, you're gonna have a really bad hangover. Mm-hmm. So in my head, don't fucking drink if you're gonna have to drown the alcohol to enjoy it. Don't drink coffee if you're gonna have to substitute all of these things to make it taste appealing to you. You don't like coffee. Try something different. It literally drives me crazy when I get somebody's order and it's like 4 pumps of caramel, 2 pumps of mocha, 1 pump of white chocolate. Like, what are we doing? I'm not ordering a child's fucking coffee.
That's crazy. So, So we just shared our first 3. We got more we're gonna share, but we want to share some of our viewers and listeners who shared on our IG page. So here's some of their pet peeves and what grind their gears. The first one is lying.
Yeah, that'll make the fucking ugly come out of me. Yeah,
like it's one. Like, I'll probably lie to someone I really don't care for because it's like, it's none of your business. So me being nice.
There's acceptable lies, like little white lies, like, oh, there's a surprise party that you can't tell the person it's a surprise.
Yeah. Certain things. Certain things I think that's acceptable. But when you're just blatantly lying, like, shit that if you told me from jump, we could have resolved the issue. Now it just turned into this big pile
now it's
of
like
shit.
lie on top of lie on top of lie to cover the original. So, yeah.
Our next one is... my friend wrote it in Creole, Moon Blanc, so white people in their tears.
Ooh.
Moon Blanc means white people.
Okay.
In their tears. Their white tears. Pointless conversation, disloyalty.
What, you can't go over pointless conversations? You already know how I am with the phone.
Oh, sorry.
Why are you calling me if you ain't got shit to talk about?
Get to the point.
Get to the point. Yes. You're wasting my time. I have scrolling to do. I have cleaning to do. I have something to do. You said
scrolling?
Scrolling on social media. You're taking into the time that's free of mine.
Oh, here's another one. I think you're going to like this one. Chewing with your mouth open.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I used to get popped in the mouth.
I got popped. My mom said that's disgusting. Like, why?
You're not a horse.
Yes. The other one, slow drivers. I hate that too.
I don't like it.
People who don't know how to properly cover their mouth, especially when yawning, burping. I grew up with that etiquette. Unless I'm by myself in the house, I'll burp, pass gas all day. It's me.
I would like to add that there's a few videos of the podcast where I'm laughing but I'm covering my mouth. I have a really big mouth, right? So I was always like taught to like just cut because it's just big. Like you just see all my teeth.
Probably her tonsils.
Yeah, like you see everything. Like you probably see my brain. Like the. So
I never covered my mouth when I would do that.
But I've always done it. Yeah. Looking like one of those South Park characters. No, the Canadian ones because their mouth is just like. Yeah. No. I have a really big mouth, so I always cover it because I'm just like, damn, you can see my brain the way my.
Shut up! You're so dramatic. Yeah. I get that. Someone else wrote the MBTA system hiking those damn fares.
I don't know. My job pays for my MBTA fares, so I don't know.
Well, here's the thing with MBTA. They keep hiking up the fares, but the service is still
It
trash.
just gets worse.
It just gets worse. And I don't understand. Who the fuck is pocketing that money? Like, y'all pocketing that money to do nothing. Yeah, we got new trains, but the shits keep derailing. Like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Like, we get a little bit of snow and now everything got to go into a shuttle bus? No,
that's the shit. And y'all always doing construction. Y'all always renovating something. Like, bruh. Niggas who string you along for their own personal use. Example for sex. Just keep it real. One sex.
It's not real. I understand what that person was saying, but to be realistic, if a guy enjoys having sex with you, but he knows if he's being honest and says, hey, I don't want a relationship, but I enjoy sex with you, you're more than likely going to be like, yeah, I'm out of here. Like, I'm looking for a relationship.
So this is the thing.
It's selfish.
It's selfish, but I understand that pet peeve and that being something that grinds my gears, and I totally understand where she's coming from. We're all adults. It's very selfish. That's why I said it's a grinder for me. It's very selfish of you to like not be honest with me. Who knows? Maybe I'm in the space. Yeah, I'm looking for a relationship, but I may be in that space where it's like, you know what? I keep jumping from relationship to relationship. Let me just go with the breeze right now and be like, you know, let me just have a good time. I don't care right now. I have a good time. You don't know that. So you want to experience me, but you rather lie and then get mad when I start acting crazy. Oh, I don't know why you doing all this.
To be quite honest, if we're being fucking honest, you always see the signs. You'll know.
Yes.
You'll know whether this guy is stringing you along or actually, you know, proactively wanting to date you. So it's just our own fault for having blinders on. We have blinders, but there's some men that give you boyfriend vibes. Especially when you're like hella boyfriend vibes when they don't have no intention of being your boyfriend. Oh, girl. I was listening to a podcast and Tank, the actual R&B singer, was like, oh, like, even if you're like my girl, like, when you're with me, you're my girl. I'm holding hands, I'm kissing you on the mouth, I'm doing all these things. And it's like, it can be very confusing to a woman who really wants that with you. Exactly. And I get it. He was like, I just love chivalry. I love, like, to be affectionate with my woman, whether I'm just dating her, just fucking her, or whatever. This is obviously prior to his current wife, who they've been with for years. But yeah, so I mean, I can understand why men would lie for selfish reasons, but it's not okay. It's not okay.
Listen, people be losing their lives over lying, so please, just be careful out there.
That part.
Next part. People trying to get on the bus or elevator without letting you off.
Pause. No. The fucking plane. When that bitch...
Where are we going? You gotta wait.
Sit your ass down. Because we're not moving for another 20 minutes.
Especially when the plane like lands and it's like moving to go park itself before we deplane. You already hear people unhooking their belt.
It's like click, click,
and I'm like, what if the plane has to make an abrupt stop? Now your face is slamming against it and you're gonna want to sue them, right? That's why they said keep the seatbelt on until that light comes on. Y'all, I realize a lot of Americans now don't like to listen. They don't like being told anything and they're in harm's way and they're willing to sue people now.
You gotta wear a mask.
Yeah, they don't like listen. Like, we gotta listen, people. Stop being so fucking hard-headed. A lot of shit that's taking place in this country now would not be happening if we took the time to at least comprehend and listen a little bit. You may not agree with it, but just listen a little bit and me save your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Next one, females that will forgive a man 100 times but will drop a family member or friend in a heartbeat.
I don't blame them. I've been there.
It's happened.
I've lost friends.
Yes.
But I in turn once those blinders came off and I started dropping those red flags and putting it in front of me and not like in my pocket, I self-reflect. I was vulnerable and I came in with humility and apologized, and I did not expect those friends to forgive me, but I wanted to make sure that they understood that I am taking accountability for my actions and that they were not the problem, I was the problem. And thankfully they forgave me, but I mean, it's not always the case.
No, I never like ended friendship over no man. I never did that, but whatever friendship that did end, it ended because of distance. You know, we get older and there's no ill will. I think I said this a couple of episodes ago, what happened between me and a former friend. We're like slowly getting back on together. Will it be the same like when we were tight from freshman year in high school? No, but we're at a space where it's like if I have something going on, I'll invite her and she'll invite me. We won't talk every day or whatever. Our conversations are usually through social media, but we're cool. We're cordial. Like before, we weren't talking at all. Another one. This person, I'll be here all day listing things. But people who lack morals and compassion for others. I think from the moral standpoint, if they weren't taught morals from whoever was raising them, I think it's going to be hard for them to grow up being adults with some type of standard of morals at all. So if you weren't taught it, and even the morals you were taught, they probably were wrong. Got to remember, whoever was raising us, sometimes some of us are not raised by our parents. We're raised by grandparents, uncles, a sister, cousin, auntie, whatever. Their morals are probably like, when you get older, you're like, yo, them shit.
I mean, that's not a pet peeve for me. Like, if you don't have morals, that's your business. I'm going to keep you at arm's length. I'm not even going to be near you. I'm not going to associate with you. I'm not even going to put you in the space to be around people that I associate with. My biggest thing is not having manners.
Yes.
Like, who raised you?
Like, some manners, I'm like, ugh, ghetto.
Yeah.
And I understand the compassion piece. Like, you don't have to know the person or love them or care for them on that level for you to just show compassion. Like, we're humans. Like, we all are dealing with different phases in our lives. You don't know what people are going through. Something that may be nothing to you, because it's like you can handle it like that. That person is drowning in whatever they're dealing with, right? Just show compassion. I know sometimes it's easier said than done. You could be having a bad day and someone cuts you off and pisses you the hell off. I get it. I've been there where I like what the fuck? And I have to remind myself like, all right, Peggy, you're having a bad day. Don't take it out on somebody else. And that's from me learning through growth. Like, some people don't have that mindset like I have. So I have to also be understanding of that. When someone thinks they know my emotions better than me, how do you explain that?
So, you ever, like, this is what I assume this person is saying. When someone be like, are you mad? I'm like, no, I'm not mad. No, you look mad.
Oh, God.
You're being weird. Are you sure you're not mad? You're like, no, I'm not mad. And then just keep like pressing it, and now you're becoming upset.
Now you're making me mad. Now I'm mad. Now what?
But I will say this too, because I show my emotions through my face. Like, my facial expressions will show
Rest in bitch face. Cause
yeah. So 99% of the times, if you ask me if I'm mad, more than likely I am. If we're having a heated conversation and I'm kind of coming off like standoffish or whatever. But when I say I'm not mad, it's because I'm trying to process without exerting that negative energy out into the space, right? So I'm just like, I'm trying to like keep it here because I don't want it to ruin the space that we're in right now. But when you keep pressing me, now I'm about to fight.
That happened to me towards the end of school year last year, and they were deciding how they wanted to pass students along. And yes, I rolled my eyes because it pissed me off. I had students who sat in my class, did absolutely nothing, and then they was like, "Oh, well, Ms. Wilson, we're gonna use your class. Well, we'll just substitute your class for psychology." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know I was doing a part 2. I was sharing a class with the psychology teacher." No offense to her. The funny thing is, the teacher, who's now my colleague, was my teacher at one point when I was a student. Crazy, right? So I was just upset at the fact, like, y'all just decided on what class should outnumber or cancel out the other class. I'm like, I don't understand this. Whatever, do what y'all want to do. Y'all get paid the big money. It's above me. So she comes in the next day. I'm sitting down, and I forgot what I was doing. I was getting ready before I left to go upstairs, and she approaches me. "You must be mad at me." And I'm like, "Mad at you for what?" "Yesterday during the meeting, they're using my class for your class." I'm like, that has nothing to do with you. You didn't have a say in that. They just decided to use your class that cancel mine out, I guess. So why would you assume I'm mad at you? Mind you, she's standing up, I'm sitting down. And I'm looking up at her, I'm like, why would you assume I'm mad at you? "Oh, no, I just thought." I'm like, "You're thinking wrong, so please stop doing that."
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's early in the morning. I'm very standoffish with a lot of my coworkers. I come in to do a job. The job is to teach my children and go home. If I have to stay here to attend a meeting or do a luncheon, I do that. I do things that need to be done during my contractual hours because I don't get paid to stay after school. So, speaking of that, before I jump into another our viewers' comment, my pet peeve as an educator is people saying, "At least you get the summers off." You know how annoying that is? Because there's a lot of hours teachers put in that we do not get paid for. We don't get paid for it. So those days when I post on my Snap, I'm staying after school with a student, or we're attending games, we don't get paid extracurricular activities. We don't get paid for that. The meetings we have to attend, if a parent wants me to wait after school to meet with them, I don't get paid for none of that. Weekends meetings where parents want to see the school and we have to sign up to showcase the school, whatever, I don't get paid for that. Teachers don't get paid for that. We literally paid for the hours they say we're supposed to work. My hours are 8 to 3. I only get paid for 8 to 3. I don't get paid for staying until 6, 7, 8 p.m. at night. I do not get paid for that. So those measly a month and a half or so we get off, and some teachers do not get it off.
I think parents should know by now what teachers deal with because the pandemic has showed you that.
No, we get told, "Oh, that's what you signed up for." Teachers did not sign up for this. No one signs up for certain bullshit they have to deal with. No job is perfect. That's like me telling a parent, "Well, you signed up for that, for having that child." You know what I mean? But I would be wrong for that. So there's a lot of things we do not get paid for. So people have to understand that. And
Can you imagine telling a parent, "Your child is acting up"? I'm like, "Well, you're the teacher." I'm like, "Okay, and you're the mama. You signed up for this shit.
You birthed this child. I didn't." So, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves, hearing, "Oh, well, at least you get the summers off." Half the time, I'm still getting emails for professional development. Am I able to sign up for one to help better my skill as an educator? Some of those professional development over the summer, I do not get paid for. That's what you guys have to understand. So when we get those month and a half, it's usually not a full 2 months because we're done at the end of June if we don't have snow days. We come back, depending on what school district you work for, we go back at the end of August. So I don't have fully all of August off. Kids come back in September. They get the 2 full months off. We do not. So the whole concept of having summers off, and the little in-between February breaks and stuff like that, even depending on the school district, you might have to go in during that time. I refuse. I don't go in during that time. That is my time. I don't play with my time. So, and I've always put in my head, God forbid something happens to me today and I pass away, they'll have a moment of silence for me, but my position will be posted by the next day.
If not already have something.
Yes, so my friends and family are the ones who will continually mourn for me, not the school. Maybe the students, the ones that have built a relationship with me, but they move on. So it's like, why am I breaking my back and losing myself for a job? No. Yeah. I love what I do, but I want people to respect our profession. Like, we're the least respected profession. And I say that because you still got to go to college. You have to get a degree to teach, to do this job, right? Even to be a sub. Even as a sub, you need at least a bachelor's degree for the school system to hire you as a sub. So they're not taking you with a high school diploma. So we get disrespected, but our job as a teacher, I can speak life or death into a student. There's comments that teachers have said to students in the past that have broke a child down. It's even worse than when the parent or family does it. Some students enjoy coming to school because it's the way they get structured. They love their teachers. The teachers are hip, blah, blah, blah. You say something a seed that can grow in a child, it'll blossom. But you say something evil that can tear a child down, you will ruin that child's morality instantly. And it'll be probably hard to get it back. So that's why I'm willing to cuss somebody out when it's like, oh, you guys get stars off. Bitch, what? Don't do that. I want y'all to stop doing that. Stop writing it in the comments too. I hate seeing people writing it. So our viewers, someone put what grinds their gears, people giving unsolicited advice and posing it as something they would do, even though they never experienced it. You look like you have a comment.
That's tricky because my niece was just over here. We had a small discussion, and I gave her what would it be considered unsolicited advice? I don't see advice being given if it's not in the context of the conversation.
Yeah.
So if you present an issue, people are more prone to being like, here's what I would do if I were you. It's just it's just natural for people to do that. People are now learning like, hey, I just need somebody to listen to me. I don't need you to say anything, and I don't need you to provide any advice or any solutions. I just want to vent. I just want to hear it out loud. Maybe something will pop in my head that'll make everything make sense. But unfortunately, I think a lot of us, we hear problems and we just want, like, especially if it's somebody that we care about, because I'm assuming when you present a problem, you're presenting it to somebody you care about and you trust. And that person also probably feels the same way about you. And it's like, I want to make sure that you get through this. Here's what I would do. So unfortunately, although unwarranted and not asked for, I think the person who's giving the advice is doing it with intentions of love and care. That's my assumption. Yeah. There's those aunties and uncles and family members that be like, you need to do this and you need to do that. Like, if you're suffering, but you're not really vocalizing anything, and they have all this fucking advice, like, but you didn't do it.
Or they're just assuming by just how you're moving and not even taking the time to have a conversation. Like, why? What's going on? Like, I noticed you haven't been here. So they're just assuming, like, all she do is sit in her room. She don't do nothing. Yeah. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. So that, I mean, if they're talking about that in that regard, I understand. Yeah. I think it's all with family. This one's cute. I love it. It's from your sister. She said her pet peeve is you. LOL. You love her.
Let me see. This bitch.
You love her.
I'm about to see you in 2.5 seconds. How?
Being in a dirty space while I'm already in a bad headspace. That's her pet peeve.
Ooh, yeah. Because it makes it worse.
Yeah, because you're not in your element, and the space you're in is just dirty. You're like, what the fuck? This one is from your niece. I love this. People who don't take accountability for their wrongdoings but are quick to fault you.
Oh. We gotta hold up. We gotta unpack that, because if you know my niece,
she likes going off.
She's a Sag, and I will tell you this right now. She has changed the trajectory. She has changed the dynamic of the family because of her, like, I don't give a fuck attitude. Sometimes it's great. A lot of times
too much.
It's like, wow, okay. But I love her for that, because she's really changed the whole idea of, like, adults are not wrong. Adults can be wrong.
Hella wrong.
And I'm gonna let you
know. Hella wrong.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that was new to us. So we thought she was being disrespectful. But she's like, I'm only giving the same energy you're giving me.
Naturally, we would think that because we grew up in that era.
The problem was she was like 10. Oh. Challenging the old aunties that are like in their 60s.
She rude, so I need to get her.
She's like, you need to mind your motherfucking business. That's her. When she got pregnant, you couldn't tell her nothing. Long story short, though, I love her for that. I think she is shaking up the family dynamic and what structure we had that did not work for anybody. And so, all for it. But it's really hard to have these conversations with her because she's bullhead. Like, she's stuck in her ways. And I remember, okay, story time. So, this is when I was living with them for a little bit, and The second floor, so it was like three family complex, whatever. And the second floor, people were all young, and cops was steadily at the fucking house. Mm-hmm. And my nieces, because a lot of them were they had a lot of language barriers and they weren't familiar with the law. Mm-hmm. My niece was always like an advocate for them, especially this is around the time like George Floyd, all of that stuff. And I love her for this, but she was down there like, you can't go in the house. You don't have a fucking warrant. Mm-hmm. And these motherfuckers don't know that. Like, these people with language barriers and not from the country don't know that a cop can't just barge in.
And that's what police
And she's like, I need badges. I need this. I need that. Like, she's ready to advocate for them because she was sick of seeing all of the shit that was going on in social media. This was the height of, like, the George Floyd. Like, she was in the mix of it. And I remember my mom and my sister, who are not understanding of this because they come from a different generation, and you just don't tamper with cops and all that. You know, they're like, Lexi. Oh shit, sorry, I don't want to say her name. They're like, oh, come inside, come inside, come inside. And my niece is like, no, not until they fucking leave, because they came to address noise complaint. They spoke to them. Now you can leave. You don't need to come into the house. You don't need to, do the most. But I was telling my niece, I'm like, your energy is enticing the interaction between the two. And I was like, I think you should just, listen, pay attention, but don't like antagonize it.
Yeah,
that was my thing.
And the attitude.
She had like the arms crossed. She was like, let me see. Like she was. I get it. She was
body language says a lot.
We were all going through it, like mentally and emotionally during that time. So she was hypersensitive to a lot of things, and she was just sick of seeing shit. And she was like, okay, I'm not gonna be the person that stands by and watch. I'm not recording shit. I'm gonna speak for these people who don't have the language to defend themselves. And I love her for that. So of course, my mom being out there now, I'm pissed because my mama, we don't fuck with my mama. We keep her in a safe space, safe little bubble. And my mom is like, you just come inside. My mom like a little 5'2", 5'1", and my niece keeps saying like, go inside. And now I'm sick. I'm hearing all of them just going back and forth. My mom with her little ass voice, my niece with her big ass voice, just going back and forth. They weren't like being disrespectful. My mom was just telling her, come inside. My niece is like, go inside, mind your business. And I think when I heard that, something clicked in me, and I was like, I'm about to whoop her ass. Who the fuck is she talking to? Like that. You can talk to anybody else like that, but you're not gonna talk to your grandmother like that. And so I went out there and I was like, you're making the situation worse. You need to come inside. And I was telling my mom, like, you need to come inside too, because like this, it's all heightened energy now at this point, and it can escalate. And the cops, I think they were already on their way out at the time. But my niece said some slick ass shit, and I went the fuck off. Like, me and her was about to go blow for blow at this point. And she's little compared to me. I'm 5'8", and she's like 5. I'm gonna force it. She's like 5'4", but she's little. So at this point, I'm ready to fight her because of what she said to my mom, how she spoke to me. I had a very issue with her and how she spoke to me because I pretty much raised her. And so now we're about to go blow for blow. And I'm like, what the fuck do you... Like, we're going off. And then I was so upset because I need to... Now my mom's upset, so I don't want to get my mom upset even more. So I removed myself from the situation. I told my mom she needs to come inside. Let Lexi deal with whatever she got to deal with. She knows what she's doing. She's an adult. And I'm just like... It's like fermenting in me. Like, I'm getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And then the next morning, I sat with it. Like, I meditated about it. And I was like, I need to have this conversation with her because I think I miscommunicated. There was a miscommunication. I understood what she was doing, and I respect her for what she's doing, and I want to push her to advocate for people that don't have the language. But I didn't want her to put anybody else in danger or put herself in danger. That was my biggest thing. And so the next morning, I was the adult, and I took accountability for my actions, and I said, hey, I'm sorry for the way I spoke to you. I'm sorry for it escalating. I would really like to have this conversation with you and discuss where the disconnect was and how we can go about advocating for people who don't have the language. And she apologized, and we just got, we got to a middle ground. There was still a lot of tension in the beginning because I wanted to fight her. Like, who the fuck you talking to like that? But yeah, she sometimes it's hard for her to take accountability, so it's very funny that she put that there.
The other one she put down: people who would rather turn to meaningless distraction rather than facing their issues.
Oh, like finding other vices to instead of dealing with their own problems. Do you do that?
Do I do that? No, I don't find other distractions. I know when I get really angry, sometimes I don't eat. I'll lay down, soak in my emotions and stuff like that. I don't find other distractions. Like if I'm dealing with a heartbreak, I do find another distraction. Like I'll hang out with one of my friends. Like I want to come over. Let's go.
But you have those conversations when you come over, though.
Yeah, it's not like I don't speak on it. I just don't want to be at home dealing with it by myself. There's ways. There's healthy ways to distract yourself. Like you're finding not your crutch, but your support system that can help you during this time of need, so you not go get distracted by drugs or any other things that can probably cause you harm or another person harm. So there's ways you can distract yourself, because it's like when you're at that moment when the breakup first happened, you're like crying, you're like, yo, I can't believe this is happening, da da da. The fact that you can find good things to distract yourself, yes, that's good. But when you start distracting yourself by negative things, that is a problem. Yeah. She also put people who make mad noise when they eat.
Peggy.
I got braces now. It's harder.
No, this was before the braces. Don't even
really no for food. Okay, so this is my thing. My students be getting on me like this. Like this is not that good. So if I'm eating something and it's getting towards the end, I'll be like,
she's mad.
Like I pop my tongue. Like
she sent me a voice note one day and I couldn't even listen to it.
No, that was literally the braces, because I had just finished eating. And as I'm eating, it's like, you know how when you feel something stuck in your teeth and it keeps bothering you, but now it's stuck in between the braces. It's like, as I'm speaking to Jess, sending her the audio message, I'm like, yeah, and then
she doesn't like, yeah.
I don't chew with my mouth open. That I don't do. I don't do all that. It's when the food is at the end or I'm done chewing and I'm like, oh, this is good. And I have a few friends that look at me, they're like, here this bitch go. And the last thing she posted, people who think money will solve all of their problems. Yeah.
Money problems are not many. I mean, money helps.
It paid the bills, though. Yeah. Like, it puts you at a place that you weren't before, but it does not solve your own. You see how many wealthy people commit suicide?
Yeah. No, I was actually listening to something. It was like a little news clip, like a interview situation. And the guy was like, I was doing well. I was making millions now with my small business. And he's like, but I was still unhappy. And I was like, I didn't understand. Like, this is what I've been working so hard towards. My business is booming. I'm making the money that I thought was going. Okay, y'all, I need to put a disclaimer out right the fuck now. Do you hear that?
Yes. Every time
every fucking episode, you'll hear.
The sirens have to feature themselves. It's like any other time I'm at her house, if we're not recording, we don't hear no sirens. Her neighbors don't move around, nothing. But the moment we record, everyone goes in action. Like literally.
Sirens, cop cars,
helicopter.
Move all your furniture upstairs, please.
Let me run across the floors while we're recording.
Stampede. It's so annoying. If you guys listen back to other episodes, you'll hear a siren.
Always, never fails. Another viewer posted actually today. People who are always late. Always late.
That's not me.
I'm in between. So here's the thing.
I feel like you're very punctual, but
I'm punctual to a certain extent. I feel like with events though, I like to come at least half an hour later, depending on the event. Yeah. I feel like for a wedding or a party where it's a surprise, I need to show up on time, because hence the surprise. But for certain events where I know certain people, I'm like, yeah, they say 4:00, but especially with Haitian events, you say 4:00, the host ain't gonna show up till 5. So I hate showing up early, sitting there, and you're freaking hungry, and you're waiting, and the person shows half an hour later, and you're still, like, not even half an hour and a half later, like, bruh. So, I'm in the middle. Like, yeah. I'll be punctual for certain things, but there's certain things I know what event it's gonna be. I will not show up on time for it. Another one they mentioned, placing a plate in the sink and not rinsing off the food. Soak it. Especially, I think depending on what type of pots you use. Like, my family used the old school Haitian pots where you're gonna have to probably let it soak. Yeah. A lot of Haitians don't believe in stainless steel. I believe in it. My generation does, but they do not. But you do need
I keep saying stainless steel, but it's actually non-stick.
Non-stick. There
pots.
We go. Yeah. But it's good to have that one good soje. my Haitians know that one good authentic pot from the motherland, wherever you're getting it from.
Yeah.
You know, West Indians have that particular one pot that you use your rice or your meat. You don't cook it in the regular pots you get from Macy's or Target. Yeah. It's a different pot. You're always supposed to have one. My great aunt. Those pots are so bad for you though. They are. My great aunt made one for me, and my father brought it up. But the way she made it is a non-stick version. Dope. So whenever I cook in it, I just rinse it off. I don't have to scrub. But my pet peeve, and I agree with that, especially when you place the plate in the sink and there's nothing else in the sink. It only takes 2.3 seconds to wash that damn plate. Not only do you leave it in the sink, you don't put any water in it, so whatever, it gets dry, so I find it there. It's like,
now I gotta actually scrub or soap.
So in regards to the plate being in the sink, she also mentioned squeezing the middle of the toothpaste, a wet bathroom mat, and makeup on my pillowcase. Like someone leaving makeup on their pillowcase, a wet bathroom mat. You gotta let it air out. You're gonna.
It don't matter how drunk or tired I am. There will be no makeup on my fucking face. I
can't go to sleep. I can't leave.
I've been so drunk that I've actually blacked out, and I still was able to take a shower and wash my face.
Good. Oh, and final one. My girl unintentionally posted something on Snap. So she works long hours as a nurse that sometimes she don't get a chance to see like my post. So she wrote unintentionally pet peeve for her is bringing uninvited guests to your function without letting you know. So like if it's a function I'm having and if I only invited just my close friends, sorry guys, I'm hitting the mic, and you added a +1 without letting me know there's a +1 coming, or I didn't give you the option to do a +1, that's rude. That's hella rude. It's almost as bad as like if I'm giving you a ride and you include somebody else.
Bro.
Why? Why
or adding extra stops to your ride.
Oh my God. So I know most of my friends have cars, some may not. That's one of my pet peeves. It's like, if we planned on going to this one place, that's where my mind is at. Do not add other stuff along the way, because then it's slowly going to irritate me, because my intention is we're going to do this place and then we're going to go home. I want to go home. Now you start adding up all these other places.
Especially you don't even know if the driver is like, all right, I know I'm dropping this person off and then I can go to this person. So then you text that person like, hey, I'm just dropping her off. I'll be
there by a specific time. You gotta and it kind of connects with wasting time. Respect people's time though. Like if someone's already doing you a favor by giving you a ride to this specific location and you realize you need to add a stop, let them know before they get there. Don't assume they're gonna be able to do it. Especially if they don't live in that area anymore. They're coming out their way to come do you a favor. My other pet peeve is people who don't know when to go home. That's why I drive in my own car. I'll meet you there unless it's a person I know for a fact that once I give them that look like, I'm ready when you are, and we're like, bitch, I'm ready now, let's go.
I love language.
I love it. So it's like, that's one of the means, the African-American urge to say, I'm ready when you are. Like, bitch, I'm ready to go since 2 hours ago, let's go. So yeah, some people who don't know when the fuck to go home, they're like, oh, there's another, no.
The nerve of her to say that, the nerve.
No, I don't.
Okay, you know what it is? You're just comfortable. Because there was time I would be yawning, like,
you want me to go
struggling to stay up, but I don't want her to feel some type of way. I think I just need to be okay with, like, if I fall asleep on you, you'll be fine. You can just go when you want to fucking go. But like my old apartment, you would come over after like dinner. We didn't have dinner. We didn't watch the movie. We went to a museum or something. And it's like 11 p.m. She still want to sit and talk. Girl, we talked at the museum. We talked at the restaurant.
I haven't done that in so long.
I am talked the fuck out.
I haven't done that in so long.
No, you haven't, because we've all been super busy.
Yeah. But these are the days where it's like, oh, I want to spend time with my friends. I don't want to go home yet.
That's part of like my 75-day hard, is because I don't like talking on the phone. So I'm going to be intentional with some of my availability, like scheduling. Going and physically sitting and having lunch or having just like whatever with people that I don't see often. Especially the older people, just to gain more wisdom and gain more information about my background, my history, my culture. You know, like a lot of my aunts, they talk to each other all the time, but there's so much family history that we don't know yet, and they're older. Like my oldest aunt, my oldest aunt passed away. He was in his 80s. My oldest aunt, she's in her 70s almost. No, she's probably in her 80s because my mom is older. So yeah, like we have so little time left with them, and so I want to make sure that I'm intentional with like spending time with them, because they're lonely. I'm like, they're getting older. Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to subject myself to gossip, but it's okay.
I think I'm going to do the same thing. Like, try to take... My parents are so stubborn. Try to take them out somewhere to eat.
Mm-hmm.
My father, I can sit here and just eat his shit. We eat his
I'm taking my mama to a dope-ass restaurant. I don't know. Mastro's, maybe.
I think Mastro's a little bit too advanced for my parents because they'll probably be like, no, I don't like that. So I want to start off small.
Cheesecake Factory?
No, my mother for some reason she loves it. She loves something. There's a dish she likes from Cheesecake Factory. Every time I say, "Oh, you want to go?" She wants to order. There's like a particular big ass salad that they give her. It's a mixed thing. It has meat in it.
It's like a chopped salad.
Probably, and she loves that. And something else she loves
hate
there.
salads.
And I'm like, you like that? She's like, I love going there. I'm like, whatever. So
that's an easy date. She eats salads.
Easy, but I know I just want to no matter where, I just want to take her out. The reason why I haven't taken them to super bougie restaurants, my parents are very particular, like with their food. And if, my father's super particular. If it's not a Haitian place, he ain't going. I'm like, but Dad, we eat the same thing at home. Let's do something different.
But you can do like a cute takeout, set up the mood, and just go and bring it to them.
They're going to look at me like, you having a party?
Listen, my mom has not experienced life in the way that I think she should have, so I'm going to create those experiences for her, whether she likes it or not.
I know, that's why I made a point every other month. I pay Keisha, our guest speaker that was here.
Yeah,
that's
treat
the
your
owner.
parents.
And
you wanna know what's so
they
funny?
do a deep cleaning for me, for her.
So I was actually, I'm gonna send this to Keisha too, but in my elevators in my building, they have like those screens and like little pop-up messages come up or like whatever, and it says this holiday treat yourself to having a deep clean, like hiring services to clean your space. Like, treat yourself. And I think a lot of us don't do that. And I think that was actually really dope that you do that. I went to my sister's, who my mom stays with, and I was like, damn, like, she probably cleans this room by herself. She cleans the house by herself. I think it keeps her young, too, so I don't want to take that away from her. But it's nice.
Just do it once out the blue. It doesn't have to be, like, all the time. Like, it doesn't have to be all the time. It could be once every couple of months. Like, Mom, take a break. Someone's coming to clean it for you. Like, for me... Keisha doesn't clean the bedrooms, but she cleans the main places, like they have bathrooms, the common areas. So that she does. My mother handles the room, but that's part of my 30-day. I'm not doing 75. I'm gonna start off slow. You know what it is? I like to pace myself. So once I get to the 30 days, I'm like, oh, I like this. I'm gonna continue. Because knowing me, I say, 75 days. Once I get to the first week, I'm like, yeah, it's a no for me. So my intention is to cut out processed sugars, alcohol. Try to work out 2 to 3 days out the week. I don't know how it's gonna work because my schedule is just trash. And
that's just gonna have to be disciplined with you getting up a little earlier. Put in 30, 40 minutes of a workout. And it could either just be stretching, like a solid 40-minute stretch, like yoga, meditation.
It's just the strength of it being so dark out when I wake up, and it's like I just want to be in my bed, like you're playing right now.
I'm talking real slick right now, as if this isn't gonna be the challenge of my life. It's just like getting up at 5 and just doing a 30-minute yoga session, and including like taking my parents out. I usually take them out around their birthdays and stuff, but I want to do it just randomly. That's gonna be the emotional part for me. Spending quality time with people. Just doing it with them, just them, my parents, no siblings. Okay, what about your godparents? Your godparents? It's hard to connect with them because one lives all in Cambridge. Her work schedule is a little off, and she's a 7-day Adventist. So there's certain days she will not go out. Yeah. My godfather, due to health conditions, is like I'm planning on just going to see them on my own. Going to see them on my own. I'm trying to do that, see how that's gonna fit in, and plus I don't think I'm going anywhere during February break, so I'll probably try to squeeze most of those in during my February vacation anyways. So that would be part of like the 20th, starts on the 21st or something. We'll be in New York. Yeah, so we need to figure out the Broadway thing. But yeah, so what I was gonna say, what I wanted to add also as pet peeve before we close out is like it doesn't really grind my gears, but it's a pet peeve for me. Like, people who feel the need to have to post all their business online, but then get upset by the commentary. You put it on social, whatever's on whatever in the internet is fair game for people to troll you, talk trash. See, even though I'm not saying it's okay for people to troll people or talk trash online, because a lot of people are very bold behind a phone screen or a computer screen, but will not say it to your face. Yeah. But not everything needs to be on the internet, and this is the problem with our society today. If it's not online, it doesn't mean it happened.
So what the fuck they think we were doing in the 90s? Not doing anything. We were doing a lot of shit was happening in the 90s, but we didn't have the technology for it to record. And I think if the technology was introduced back then, our parents would have been like, no, you're not going on that all the time. Because even when desktop computers came out, when some people had it, you still were being monitored to a certain extent. Now it's free game for all. Kids be on, or they just throw a YouTube video in front of them. Tablets, everything. And some people don't get, children don't get monitored. But I feel like limit your energy with the things you put online, because it could be negative or positive. And if you know in your heart you cannot handle certain things, depending on where your mental state is, do not cause more harm to your mental state by adding things on there, because you leave it up to fair game for people to comment, and you might spend the day just blocking a lot of people if that's what you have to do.
I personally, because this is prime example, this podcast is prime example of, you get a snippet of the story, and now we're open to people making judgment about that. And I don't think it's fair. I'm trying to congest as much as I can in this hour that we're recording, and not all the times are you gonna get the full story. And so when you make a comment that isn't reflective of the actual situation, I'm going to feel some type of way.
No, you have every right to, and that's why I said be very selective what you post online, because I'm not gonna prime example, I posted my 1 year anniversary with my significant other, right? Everyone knows me, whoever knows him calls him butter.
It's the petty moment of the day.
No, I'm not gonna be petty. And people who know us and my friends who know what I've been through know the backstory, knows that, okay, you deserve this. Like, this love that you're showing us, you deserve it. People who may not know the story be like, oh my gosh, she finally got a nigga, she finally got someone to make her happy. But not knowing the shit that I had to go through, not knowing the uncomfortable conversation that me and Wilson had to have while we were getting to know each other and dating. And sitting face to face, like having these conversations. Some of the conversations me and Wilson have had that I personally believe that some other man would not be able to handle the conversations that we had. Yeah. And us being comfortable, not making the other feel uncomfortable or feel bad about the shit they did in the past.
I think you guys are intentional by showing up every time. Like, if this conversation is only going to help the relationship better, what is the problem?
Exactly. So some people don't see it that way. So that takes a level of maturity and healing at the same time. Yeah. My thing is like, oh, speaking of that, you thought I was gonna be petty with that. No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I was.
What I'm gonna be petty with, my pet peeve is when I invite people for events that I'm having and then you don't show up. I understand shit does happen. It is life.
No, you gotta rephrase that. When you invite people to an event that they've RSVP'd for, and don't show up.
Yes, that's my thing, because people have to understand, if I'm throwing a shindig, for people who know me as long as they know me, every shindig that I've had at my house or at a hall or whatever, it involves food, it involves some type of decorating, some type of thing for people to have fun.
She eliminates everything, any concern that someone would have about like payment. Yes. Like, we just want you present to share the moment and experience.
Just have fun. That's all I ask for.
And have the experience.
Yeah. I think the one for my graduation / birthday party, the only thing people had to pay for was the alcohol.
Yeah, and that's free. That's like
y'all be buying bottles. That's like $200-300 at the fucking club
at the store for $70.
Thank you. So that was my thing. I had a few people that told me, like, I had a friend of mine that said their child was sick. That I cannot front. But I had other people like, oh, I won't be able to make it. It's like, bruh, when I say RSVP by specific date, I need that for a particular reason, because maybe the person that's giving me the place, they want to find account how many people are going to be there. I need to find account in regards to food, drinks, like if there's anything extra I need to come out of pocket for. That's what y'all not understanding. So that's why when that thing came out a couple months ago, that couple that charged, that billed their people who didn't come, I kind of understand that, because it's like, I'm coming out of pocket. I do get it, like, this so happen. Expensive. If you RSVP'd, please go back to the RSVP and say, I am no longer able to come. But you know what? What irks me even more is when people wait like the hour before. You knew you wasn't coming. That's what kills me. It's one thing, something happens to you during the day of the event, cool. But when you knew intention, like, you know what, since Tuesday, I ain't coming.
Yeah.
You wait till the day of. As I'm getting ready, nothing pisses me off more
when they could have gave your RSVP to somebody who wanted a +1.
Right. What irritates me more is the day of my event. I'm getting ready. I'm busy. Here people go want to text me, asking me all these questions. I can't help you because I'm busy getting ready to go to the event that you should be at right now or getting ready to go to. You're asking me all these questions. I can't help you. I'm getting ready. So it's like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Don't say you're coming and then you don't show up. Like, especially when it's an RSVP event. Not just like, oh, I'm just doing a kickback this weekend. You know, come over if you can. That's different. But when it's something that is planned and people are coming out of their pocket for, and you got sent an invite to come, you need to respond. And if you're not coming, let the person know you're not coming anymore. And respond to the RSVP, because you have to remember they're keeping tally of how many people are actually coming, right? And here's my other pet peeve. People who didn't come, whenever responded to the invite, when they see the post, oh my God, I should have came. Yeah, you should have. Don't fucking comment that on my shit. Don't comment that on my shit.
Oh God, that's so fucking annoying.
I should have came. I should have been there. It looked lit. Yeah, it was lit. Like, that's personal.
That shit is a pet peeve of mine. Like, bitch, why did you even feel the need to comment that?
Why?
Just leave it.
Oh my God, it looked like y'all had so much fun. Yes,
we did without you.
Yes, the fuck we did.
It wouldn't have been fun if you were there. Sorry.
Yes, the fuck we did have all this fun. We had a grand all time. We were frolicking everywhere. Like, the fuck. Like, people get on my nerves with that shit. Like, oh my God, you guys look like you had so much fun. Like, or here's the kicker: the people who never show up, but then you stop sending invites. Where's my invite?
That's me. No, actually, you still invite me to.
You never said where's my invite, because I know, like, you'll tell me from jump, like, honestly, I'm not gonna be able to come. You don't tell me the day of I ain't coming. Like, I never had that issue.
Talking about that, we're all adults now. Our groups, our circle are all adults now. If you plan to do something or go somewhere and you've RSVP'd, but you no longer want to go, whether mentally you're just not in it to win it, or you are just something's happening that you can't make it, stop lying. Just say, mentally I'm not here. I'm not here, okay, and I don't think being in that space is gonna be okay for me. Just be fucking honest.
Yeah.
When you start making fucking up lies that you gotta go pick up your daughter at school and it's Sunday night.
Telling me all these stories, like, you know, I got stuck in traffic, and then, you know,
ain't no goddamn traffic because it's COVID,
and then you've been laid up in bed.
It's a whole panorama.
You know, so yeah, like you said, just be honest. Like, if it's a close friend that's doing something, honestly, if your friend is really your friend, they will understand. Because there's shit that happens where it's like you were up to going, but you end up being in this mental space where you honestly cannot deal with the sensory overload with being around other people. What you say?
I said, clearly I live in an accident-prone space.
Literally.
That's the second Amberlin.
Amberlin. So, there's moments where shit happens. It's like, you already had the outfit plan, you had that, and shit happened where you're like, you know what, I love my friend, but I'm really not in the mood right now to be around anybody. I don't have the energy to get dressed or anything like that. If your friend loves you and respects you and understands where you're at, they will honor that and be like, okay, cool. We can hang out tomorrow if you don't mind me coming over.
Yeah.
I'll come. Sorry guys for hitting the mic. I'll come and stuff.
What's more frustrating is when you have those friends that are like, I can't come because I gotta do this, or I don't got childcare, or my child's sick. First off, putting sickness on your child is a disease. Like, you are sick. You're sick, not your child.
Up, yeah.
But damn, what the fuck was I gonna say about that? See, it was gonna upset me, so maybe I shouldn't have shared it.
God, shut your lip, shut up. But yeah,
I was like, we're not ready for that conversation.
So with, like, a lot of us have our pet peeves, a lot of things that get under our skin, and I know we have a ton more, but obviously a lot of it is not.
It's going to be a 3-hour podcast episode.
Yes,
and we
so
don't want that.
We're just going to slowly transition out of that, but I want to really thank you. We both want to thank everyone who participated and shared their pet peeves of what grind their gears. We really love that. We're going to do more of those questions as time moves forward. We're going to do that because we love interacting with the people who follow us on social media. We really truly appreciate it.
It makes it fun.
It really makes it fun. And like I said, we're not gonna say your names like you guys just experienced. We didn't say any of your names. We just said what you said and kept it pushing. So your identity is protected. Don't worry about it.
Except for my nieces.
Sorry. But yes. So as always, at the end of every episode, we like to shout out a business. So this week's business shout out is a photographer, iVision. They have a website. They did my birthday photo shoot like 3-4 years ago. You know the photo shoot I had with the bob hairstyle with like my hand touching it?
Oh yes.
So that's my friend's. Yes, that's my friend's.
Very goddess like.
Yes, that's my friend's fiance. He did that photo shoot for me. His IG, we'll be putting it under the description on IG, Anchor, and YouTube. But I'll spell it out for you guys. It's I_vision_. That's for IG, and he also has a booking website. It's iVision Photography booking.as.me, like me. Definitely check him out if you're looking for a family photo shoot. He does photo shoots for all seasons, for weddings, all that. So check him out. And as also, we always have our quotes. Right here.
Okay. I'm not gonna say anything about my handwriting. Okay, so the quote to end this off, I first would like to say, please like, subscribe.
Yes, thank you.
Hit that bell notification.
Share it.
Comment. Like it. Everything.
Share it.
That's on YouTube. But then when you get over to like Spotify and Apple, I need you to hit that 5-star. I need you to
subscribe to it too.
I need you to show us some love. I need you to repost on social media. We are children and we need validation. Thank you. And with that being said, I need you to be you, do you, for you.
Yes, thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
We appreciate it.
Love you.